United States Supreme Court acts like a political checkboard. This is undiluted news. Mikey Bones reporting. For the first time, the United States Supreme Court has declined to rule on whether former President Donald Trump is immune from prosecution for allegedly trying to overturn the 2020 election. Trump's effort to postpone his trial appears to have been successful since the matter is now proceeding through the appeals process. Special counsel Jack Smith had requested the court to hear the matter as soon as possible, and earlier this year was charged with election tampering. The court issued an unsigned ruling stating that the judgment is denied without explaining its rationale. The decision is a blow for prosecutor Jack Smith, who had requested the Supreme Court to intervene early because he was concerned that the appeals process might delay the start of Trump's trial. The ex-president claimed he is exempt from prosecution since he was serving as president before and during the riots. Apparently, if he had killed someone, he thinks he cannot be arrested. The verdict means that the matter will have to be decided by the U.S. Court of Appeal for the D.C. Circuit before it can be appealed to the Supreme Court, where it is likely to be heard eventually. And this is a tactics that the Supreme Court is going to help him with to see how long they can delay justice to a lawbreaker. Over in Jamaica, vendors across Jamaica complain about the poor sales of goods as shoppers are staying away. However, the shoppers are complaining that the goods being sold are too expensive and that they would rather pass. Vendors are holding out hope that things will improve, but in some areas, rain and violence is hampering any kind of improvement. Opposition Senator Peter Bunting has spoken out strongly against the country's healthcare system, which he claims is in disarray. Senator Bunting said that the public health care system is in the worst position it has been in decades. He said those who had to interact with the health system are being made to suffer owing to a lack of resources, citing video clips of hospital patients with drip needles in their arms, lying in passageways and on wooden benches or sitting up in chairs for days. No beds available. And it sounds like a dire situation for real. But in contrast to Senator Bunting's accusation, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has stated that great progress has been done in the last year to enhance healthcare delivery. Dr. Tufton stated that the concern of a shortage of bed space is being addressed by infrastructural investment. He also stated that primary healthcare reform will relieve hospital overcrowding. Meanwhile, the government is constructing a third refuge for domestic abuse victims. Government Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith stated that the two existing shelters are offering much-needed service such as counseling for children and transitional training for women. To date, the center have provided 79 clients with specific kinds of support. The third site is being renovated and retrofitted, she explained. She emphasized the significance of victims being able to seek refuge away from their abusers. 3 men have been taken into custody following the seizure of an illegal firearm and ammunition on Saturday morning on East Street in Kingston. A Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 11 9mm rounds of ammunition was also seized. The Denham Town Police report that about 3:10 a.m., lawmen were on patrol and saw 3 men. One of the men allegedly threw an object. The police said they retrieved the item and discovered that it was a firearm. All 3 men were taken into custody. Their identities are now being withheld pending further investigations. A 19-year-old sales clerk has been accused in connection with a daring gun attack on a team of beryllium security personnel in Manchester Greyground neighborhood on December 11. Armina Brown of Hotline Avenue in St. Catherine is charged with 2 counts of robbery with aggravation, wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon with intent to injury, property damage, and conspiracy to rob. And according to Mandeville Police, the guards were at a commercial facility about 6:40 p.m. when they were shot at. When the gunfire ceased, Brown, his accomplice, and a guard who had been injured were transported to hospital where the accomplice died and the guard and Brown were both treated. A Winchester .38 pistol and 4.38 rounds of ammunition were seized, and following the inquiry, Brown was charged, and he will now face the music on December 27. Meanwhile, 2 men were killed in St. Elizabeth on Sunday morning after attempting to rob attendees at an event at Trial Square. The deceased are Christophine Gardner and Chevron Hall, also known as Munga, both of Clarendon, but who the police allege were involved in multiple robberies in St. Elizabeth. A third individual who police suspect was also engaged in the dispute on Sunday has been arrested awaiting further investigations. The thieves were allegedly confronted by licensed firearm gun owners who burned their skin. 2 guns were found at the location. Acting Superintendent Coleridge Minto of the St. Elizabeth Police Department issued a caution to individuals considering similar acts of crime, adding that Trial is a very quiet community and they don't need any criminals there. Onto sports, the Caribbean Premier League revealed that Jamaica will not have a franchise for the upcoming 2024 season in its first since the inception of the tournament in 2011. The 2024 cricket edition will have teams based in St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Guyana, but none from Jamaica. Former owner Chris Prasad said that they were left with no choice but to move on. Former CEO Jeff Miller said that Jamaica government officials just did not believe in the value of the tournament. And since 2019, ordinary Jamaicans have also not been able to cash in on the trickle-down effects of the tournament due to the country not hosting games. And this all started when the owners started to keep games in Fort Lauderdale on a permanent basis and expect that the Jamaican government was still supposed to give funding. Well, the government says no way, and of course, they did it diplomatically. Jamaica's under-20 head coach John Wall has reaffirmed his commitment to join the process with a new standard to boost player development. Wall is tasked with leading the under-20 boys to victory at the CONCACAF under-20 qualifiers, which will take place across 5 locations in Central America and the Caribbean from February 23rd to March 2nd of next year. However, he does not want to stop coaching the players after the tournament. He wants continuity and wants them to build from there to supply the first 11 Reggae Boys squad, especially since the boys have now moved from 64 to 55 in the world this year. And don't forget that the best news and sports takes place on this station. If you ever miss the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, everybody. I gone.